to say that. Don't say that. Yeah. But what I want to say is, the problem with us, because number one, we 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 go up on stage, right? And what's more exciting than that? The business inherently is super exciting, and there's dopamine hits.
Right, I'm gonna get a lot of feeling from right there.
Right. And so then also, you and I are also recovery drug addicts, so we like excitement, right? And we don't like the same old thing, right? So there is something about meeting somebody new, right?
Right, it's almost like you get that. Yeah, you get that forgetful syndrome. It's like you.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've never said this out loud before, and I think I fucked it up with Kalila, and I think that I wish I would have done it over again because that would have changed something, right? At this point, it's too late. You know what I mean? We both have moved on, but there's a lot of regret there. I swear to God, man, I will. The next girl I meet, that and there's a couple of girls that could have potential to be on this point right now. But the next thing I'm going to do it differently. Number one, I'm going to get rid of all the machines.
Oh, really?
Yep.
From shirts to shoes, list all your items on Vinted in a flash and earn your money back, all with zero fees. Wear it, sell it. Download Vinted.
Dude, I showed up at Bad Friends one day, and somebody had sent me something that I swear to God is the size of a vacuum cleaner. Right? It was like this big, with all these tubes and stuff. It was a sex toy.
No.
Yeah. Of course, I took it home.
You used it?
I plugged it in. I have so many of them.
Oh.
I have so many of them. And I stick it in.
And what does it play? It just Beethoven's here or something?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, right? And you,
Oh. What's Hey, put it on Christmas.
yeah. I swear to God, these new machines, dude, it sucks you in, dude.
Oh, see, I don't
They
do any of
never
that.
let go, dude.
I'm 80 days off pornography right now.
Wow. I'm gonna give you a machine, man.
No, please. I don't want anything.
I
like
know, but
that.
I know, but you gotta try it.
What does it do?
It does three things,
Okay. Okay.
not just one thing.
Okay.
All right.
Is it gas powered? You plug
No,
it
it's
in?
not good. No, the vacuum cleaner I will probably not use again because I had to grab parts of my penis inside the fucking little filter there, right? It took stuff out. So it was too powerful, okay? But I'm gonna say this, okay? I have one that I bought at the hustler store.
Yeah.
Right? And it does three things. Oh, really just two things. So it vibrates and sucks.
Wow.
Right? And so, you know what I mean?
Does it sort point?
I think it might.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah.
How long do you have to stay on it for? 8 seconds?
No, what I do is it's also waterproof. That's a key.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, I know. So the next relationship I'm in, that's what you do?
It makes me just.
No, Daddy, no.
Daddy sounds like a man,
Dude, what?
Daddy sounds like a man.
Yeah,
bro.
dude. Yeah.
That better be a chick named Daddy.
Yeah. Do you miss your dad?
Oh yeah, I miss my dad, dude.
When did you die? What year did he die?
Bring up a picture of my dad. He died in 1996.
You miss him though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cause I didn't like. Yeah, I miss him. I just wish that I knew him better. You know. Do you miss your dad?
Yeah, dude. You just hit it on the fucking nail on the coffin. Was that the wrong way to say it? You hit the nail. Here's the thing. I don't know nothing about it because my dad didn't speak English, right? And I barely everything was like, for instance, like when when you're in high school, for instance, and you're going. Let's say I was a white kid. I was going out, and your dad gives you like a little pep talk, like
Right.
don't drink and drive, right? Also, if you're in trouble, give me a call or whatever. Whatever they say, you know what I mean? But my dad didn't do that. He would just go. I go, good, bye, dad. He goes, don't do. Yeah, don't do. That's it. That's me. That's it. If I ask my dad, tell me about how you feel. I don't good, but they don't like. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What's your favorite pasta? Oh, I like. You know, like he does. There's, dude. So every. She's never. Music was. Right? So when he get a stroke, right?
Oh gosh, I didn't know that. I knew your dad passed away. I didn't know he had a stroke.
Yeah, he had many strokes. So he had 2 major strokes and a couple of
Different
mini
strokes. You ever seen that show?
Yeah, I love it, dude. Yeah, he had 2 Willises. What you talking about, Willis? You know what I mean? Anyway, great show.
Oh yeah, one Mr. Drummond. That's
Yeah,
that's the one that really shook him.
So what was I? Oh, what I was saying? Oh, so he had a bunch of strokes, and I had like AirPods, and I was at his house in Phoenix, and I go, Dad, I go, you listen to music for the first time. I mean, obviously he's been in all recorded, right? But he doesn't know. He doesn't have a favorite band, or he doesn't know what Beethoven is or whatever, right? And so I put in Eric Clapton's what's it? Tears in Heaven.
Oh,
I put it in. My Steve was there too, my brother, and we pushed play. And tears came down my dad's face.
no way.
Right? It was the first time he goes, Dad, beautiful. It was incredible. And then he died. Yeah. So he didn't know. I didn't learn anything from the dude. And it's.
But were you ashamed of him? It feels like you were embarrassed by him some reason.
I hated him. And I've told this story before, but not on this. I don't think. When I've told this a couple of times. Do you mind if I tell this story?
Yeah. No, I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
Who do I live with?
Your friends.
No, I have cats.
Oh yeah.
I have 3 cats.
I think you have a couple of cats.
Yeah. And so when I was a kid, I loved them. Something about them.
The cats.
Just cats in general.
Yeah.
And when I was 8, I go, Cook, can I get a cat? And they got me a cat, a kitten. Named him Tommy. And they wouldn't put him in the house. We put him in the garage with like a little fence thing in the garage.
That's fair.
Yeah, good compromise. And then over the summer, every day, I just sat with Tommy 8 hours a day, however long. He was the love of my life. And then one day, a couple of months later, 3 months later, I go to the garage. He's completely gone. So I go, Mom, Dad, and they came in the garage. I go, where's Tom? And my dad goes, Mommy, she allergic. And I go, He said, Tom gone. And he goes, stop crying. And then he just left the garage. There was like no room for compromise or anything, like whatever that's why I hate authority figures, right? There was no room for discussion. I didn't know where Tom went. Stop crying, shut the fuck up, and that's it. And that was the day where I looked at my parents and I went, okay, it's war. It's war. I started doing drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Raising hell.
Yeah, raising hell, lighting things on fire. I go, fuck.
Embarrass the family.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why if I had a kid, how would you approach that? I was a kid. Your wife is allergic to the fucking the cat, and I'm your kid. Be real. But don't do comedy. Don't do comedy. Right?
Okay. I would probably get a
So
shake.
I'm your dad. I'm your son.
Okay.
Hey, Dan. No, you don't.
I'm sorry, just do it like me.
You don't have to have an Asian accent.
I don't know what country we're in.
No. You're you.
Okay, got it. I didn't know.
I don't know where you can have an Asian accent.
I don't know what country we're in.
No, we're in America.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Give me a setting then.
Yeah. Oh, you have to be that specific. specific?
Yeah, you're just okay.
I live in Nashville.
Okay.
Your wife is white.
Yeah, my son.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not Asian.
All right.
Make believe that I'm your biological son, right? Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Chucky, what's up? How was school, buddy?
Chucky's good. Daddy.
Good?
Yeah, Daddy.
How was school, huh?
Dad, school was great, Dad.
I hear they're holding you back again.
They're holding back, like fire, like sun, Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gang 'em up, gang 'em up.
Gang 'em up. Boy, I love
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Chucky.
Dad.
I
Hey,
want to
Daddy,
tell
gang
you.
'em up.
I know we had a cat here yesterday.
Yeah, so where's Tommy?
Your mother's allergic to cats.
Oh, so where's Tommy,
Mom
Daddy?
gets sick. Mom
I
gets sick.
understand.
If you have cat, mom gets sick.
I know, but where's Tommy now?
Tommy is going to be at your aunt's house, and you can go play with him in the afternoon.
Dude. That's it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Now, your aunt drinks a lot of wine. And she gets a little handsy with the kids, you know? She gets what they call Franzia hands.
Yeah, Daddy, I don't need to know the specifics of like what my auntie's behavior is going to be like. Is she going to hurt when she gets drunk? Is she going to hurt Tommy?
No, she just might love him as much as you do.
Right, because I know my cousins have all black eyes.
The magical feeling of match day and the desire to lose yourself in the moment. That's what today is all about. A meeting of two talented sides ready to go at it in front of a capacity. Well, the rain has been lashing down in the build-up to the game, and it's still lashing down here at Anfield. I'm Derek Ray in the commentary position, and alongside me is the former Arsenal and West Ham midfield player Stuart Robson. I'm very much looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League. It is Liverpool, and they take on Brighton.
Well, thanks, Derek. The best coach I played under would always tell us before kick-off, earn the right to play. If you can win your individual battles, outrun your opponent, eventually you'll get the space to show your ability. I'm sure that's being echoed by the coaches here today.
So the starting lineup for Liverpool. Alisson gets the nod in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold starts with Andrew Robertson in the wide defensive areas. And they line up with just the one striker looking to do a bit of damage. Oh, surely. And a goal! That is a very bright start. Perfect way to open. And Liverpool get the ball moving again, looking to find a reply to that setback. McAllister. So Bosloy. And return to Diaz. Tremendous intuition to win it back. Well, you know, I always think it's a delight to commentate on Darwin Núñez. You never quite know what he's going to do, Stuart.
Well, he's been in fine form in the league, as you can see from those stats. And it's going to be a real test for that back line to keep him quiet. If they switch off, even for a minute, they'll be punished.
You're doing great. This is the best ever.
Diaz. Salah. What a block! Well, defenders having to cover up. Oh, missed the chance. Glorious opportunity to level it.
Well, what a chance for the equaliser. They really should have scored there.
And threading it through. Oh, so close to opening up the defence. Great strong tackle. Throw in forthcoming. Opportunity here. Oh, magnificent reaction. Milner delivering here. And snuffed out the danger immediately.
That's insane.
As you can see, Liverpool have had all the ball in the last 15 minutes. And they've created chances. It just now needs one of those chances to be taken.
Now, hold on, Stuart. They're in here. On his own with only the keeper to beat. But he's missed it, Stuart.
Well, he went for power, but he didn't make the perfect connection. That's why he's missed the target there.
It's interesting. He's straightened, but he kind of there's a calm hairstyle. Yeah, there it is. It's a calm hairstyle. So I saw there was some African-American man between 1940s and early 1960s.
Well, inching towards half-time, and probably fair to say the fans were hoping for a little bit better than this. Stuart, your thoughts?
Well, they've not had quite enough purpose to their attacking play so far. It's all
Oh, wait a minute, Stuart. Look what's happening. And a goal to increase their advantage to 2 overall. That little bit of a cushion. Now it's all about keeping the concentration. Difficult to stop him. Could pull one back here. And he does! He's thrown his team a lifeline. The belief is back.
Well, as you can see, what a good bit of play this is. The build-up is excellent, 1- and 2-touch passing, clever movement and a fairly simple finish. Great team goal.
No more time left. First half is over here at Anfield. Well, he hasn't quite had the impact and attack that we were expecting, Stuart.
Well, I've been disappointed with his game so far. As those touches show us, he just hasn't been getting into the right...
Well, they've kicked off the second half here at Anfield. Andrew Robertson. Crossing possibilities. Diaz. So a corner kick it'll be following the deflection.
Well, can they draw level here? The crowd certainly think so.
Trying to pick out a teammate. Well, it still could be dangerous. And I think the threat has been averted. Just a quick reminder, we have more action from the Premier League coming your way. It's Liverpool taking on Ipswich Town. And the problem not completely solved. Oh, must score! My goodness, that save, fully stretched he was. One for his own highlights reel. And he's fired over the corner. And efficient defending. Well, good run this. Now, what can he do with it? Chance to finish. Oh, he's found the net. And that increases the advantage to 2. Just what they wanted and just what they deserve.
Well, here's the replay. He does well to find that bit of space in the box, and then he shows a lot of composure to finish it off. That's a good goal.
He's in here. And a goal! Not over just yet.
Well, here we can see just how good this goal is. It has everything. Skill, pace and power. There was no stopping him there.
Thank you. I love you, man. Yeah, thank you.
Well, away they go again. Liverpool still behind, but they're making this a contest. Laba. March. Ansu Fati. Well, it looked as though he was going...
Find stylish offers. Find thousands of great daily... The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day.
Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, good to see you, man.
Strange times we're living in.
The strangest and getting stranger.
Didn't some shit go down today? Didn't we steal the president of Venezuela's plane? Yeah, I think we just stole his plane.
I didn't.
No, not us.
Okay, good.
The United States. So
So
someone
the
stole his
greater us.
plane,
All right.
which is kind of an act of war. What is that?
Was he in it?
I don't think so. No. I think we just stole his plane.
Just like for a joyride?
So what's the story? U.S. seizes Venezuela
To net
president
another one,
Nicolas
but the keeper
airplane.
getting in the way.
Well, that was a decent chance for his second there. Not the finish he was really looking
How does
for.
that work?
Well,
Even if you
capable of a
get it
better
wrong,
clearance than
like
that.
President, how disrespectful is it to steal their plane?
You're right.
Matt
It's an act
Sevifer.
of war.
Like, imagine if Xi Jinping landed somewhere.
Well, nothing comes of the attack when all is said and done.
No chance. That's a
Well, the
bully
counter
move.
chance looks
That's a
very
move you
real.
could do to punch like Venezuela.
Yes, right.
Can they keep it
I'm
going?
trying to remember exactly.
And he's
what the
broken
story
free.
was.
Oh, goal! Level now. The lead has evaporated.
Well, here it is again, and the pace in which they break forward is devastating. It's so hard to defend against, and Salah does the rest. He strikes it so cleanly, he hits it with power and accuracy. There was no stopping that.
Decent looking pass. And they grab the lead late on.
So this says Merrick Garland said that the Justice Department seized an aircraft we allege was
Harvey Elliott.
illegally purchased for
And
$13
space
million
on the wing for Liverpool.
from a shell company and smuggled out of the
Must
United
take the
States.
lead here.
for the use
Well,
of
you've got to
high-nickel
give him
Maduro
credit for that
instruments.
piece of defending.
This is not about ours, though.
Well, we've
That's what I
entered the
understand.
final 5
Like,
minutes.
if it was purchased through a
And
shell
he's in.
company,
Well, sometimes you need inspiration from your goalkeeper.
Well, he's pulled off a decent save here, but more importantly, they stay on level terms.
It was purchased from a company in Florida.
Well,
Just
he didn't miss by a huge margin, did he?
in April 2023 from the United States to Venezuela through the Caribbean. So are we not allowed to sell them planes? Is that what it is? Like, because we have a problem with
Well,
that?
3 minutes of
They say how
stoppage
much it
time,
costs?
that's what
13
the
million
officials have
bucks?
said.
Okay, so he's got this $13 million plane.
Could be
That's
threatening.
Assault Falcon 900EX.
It's
So it's been
in,
used to
and this really takes your breath away. A comeback and a half.
It seemed like that's like which one to
Well, let's look at this again, Derek, because the transition when the ball changes hands is so quick. And once he gets onto it, he just smashes it past the keeper with great technique. What an emphatic finish that is.
Luxury vehicles.
The sound of the referee's whistle. This match is in the history books, and it goes down as a Liverpool victory.
Well, Derek, they did dominate.
U.S. sanctions for Venezuela and other criminal matters that we're looking at regarding this aircraft. They gotta find a reason to keep it. They still have
Got time for a couple of questions?
Yeah, we're gonna get too rich, and Putin's gonna give you.
Well, that's the thing. Is there's a hidden story for everything, and right, incentivizing the world and we the world get to
So we think now, though, most people, I feel like genuinely most people are aware of this whole story. Every story, everything in the news. Every time something comes up, people are like, what's the whole story here?
Well, I coined this term Cartesian.
That'll be all, thank you.
Cartesian crisis basically means the point at which you can't really be certain of anything. And the problem is, yes, I do think people are catching on to the fact that they never know the real story, but the response to that is either that you start believing the bullshit that they tell you, or that you just become cynical and stop believing anything, and neither of those are functional ways to exist.
And both those ways are good for the people that are running scams.
Exactly. They're good for the people who want to maintain power because it just keeps us back on our heels.
Yeah, because if you don't know what's true and what's not true, you're like, oh, jeez. And then you get cynical, oh, it's all bullshit, this whole system's rigged, then you just go fishing.
Right, and that's the thing people don't understand, is that at the point that you think you're striking a blow by checking out of their system, you're actually doing them a favor.
Right. It's actually beneficial to them because then you have a smaller number of people that are voting. So essentially, in the 2020 elections, it was the largest ever win, right? The Democrats got 80-something million votes, which is so let's say even if it was 50-50, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 million people. How many people are women and children? I mean, how many people are children? Women can vote. What am I saying? How many people are children rather?
Oh, geez, I have no idea on the percentage.
Under 18, it's probably in the 30%. So that's a pretty high turnout.
Yes, if that was even.
If it was real.
Yeah,
right.
That's the problem. We have no
Darren,
idea.
that's the problem with the whole cynical game. Because I'm not convinced. Yeah, you know why I'm not convinced? Because everybody wants me to be convinced. When they like yell at you if you ask a question, like, hey, one of the things that I've always said, and everyone sort of agrees with this. I mean, literally everyone, even people that think that the election was 100% legitimate. The percentage of voter fraud is never zero, correct? And they're always like, yes. No one can say it's zero. It's not zero. There's a bunch of slippery people that get arrested on both sides of the aisle. Republicans and Democrats get arrested for election fraud. It's a real crime. The idea that they commit all these other acts of fraud and deception, but when it comes to elections, Brett, that's a sacred institution that we don't violate at any cost.
Yep. Well, and the way they maintain that story is by ruthlessly punishing anybody who questions it, even though questioning it is the obvious thing to do.
Right.
Because for one thing, elections used to be different, as you remember.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, you used to vote in person, and voting by mail was something you were very reluctant to do because you knew that if your vote got counted, it was going to be very late in the process. It wasn't really going to matter.
It was mostly for soldiers serving overseas.
Right, exactly. It was for people who just simply couldn't vote in person, and it never really mattered except in very rare cases. The disappearance of that and the normalization of voting by mail, the normalization of voting across a period of time so that you're not all voting on the same day, and the absence of exit polls, right? When everybody's voting from home or wherever, you can't detect fraud by virtue of the fact that the count that came in from that precinct didn't match what the exit pollers registered.
Right.
And so, I don't think we are wrong to imagine that we have lost the ability to check whether an election is fair and that that's not an accident. That leaves the possibility open to cheat. And as you point out, they cheat in every other way. Are we supposed to believe that they won't do that because their patriotism is so deep? I don't see any patriotism to them at all.
Well, not only that, they've established this narrative that it's imperative that the Democrats win to save democracy.
Right.
So they've already made all of these statements that would. It's more important for them to win than anything. More important than anything. More important than having primaries. More important than letting the people decide who the representative is. More important than having like live actual conversations, interviews that aren't edited on CNN. Instead, they have a 40+ minute one that's edited down to 18 minutes. What?
Well, and we just went through this with them over COVID.
Yeah.
We know that when they think they're in the right, they feel entitled to lie about everything. They feel entitled to coerce.
Right.
And so the idea that we're supposed to imagine that our elections are somehow different to them, I can't imagine how that would even work.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's one of those things again that you're forced into agreeing with just out of fear, because people get very aggressive with it. Just like people were super aggressive about the vaccine. I hate seeing people die because they made a poor choice. But there's something insane about how many people were like pro-vaccine advocates that were shaming people and angry people, and now they're dead. And they're not dead because they ran their time and they got old and they died, and it's unfortunate, but it happens to all. No, they're dead young, like a lot of people. Not one, not 20. We don't even know what the real numbers are because it's not something the mainstream media covers, because they've all been vaccinated too, and they're probably freaking the fuck out too.
Yeah, it's a huge number of people. We can detect that statistically. The trouble is that it's hard in any individual case to know whether or not you're looking at something that would have happened anyway.
Right.
So, you remember John Ritter?
Yes.
From Three's Company?
Sure.
Died of
I worked with him.
Ruptured. Oh, you did?
Yeah, did an episode of News Radio with him. Super nice guy.
Good guy? Yeah,
Great
I got that impression. Anyway, he died of a ruptured aorta, if I remember correctly. long before there was COVID vaccines.
Right.
So the point is, if that had happened last year,
Right.
we'd all be saying, "Come on,
Of
he's
course.
in Hollywood. He got vaccinated."
The man of the moment.
Well, Derek, we know he's a good all-round finisher, but I think he's great.
Anfield, one of the most storied venues anywhere in the football world. My name's Derek Ray, and delighted to have alongside me, as usual on these occasions, Stuart Robson. I'm looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League coming right up. It is Liverpool, and they take on Ipswich Town.
Thanks, Derek. Well, both managers will be reminding their players of starting the game quickly, pinning the opposition back, playing the ball forward and regaining possession as quickly as possible. Hopefully, we get a really good game here.
People that were taking that medication were drunk. They would 100% make a publish, and they would make it public.
We're using the space really well, but now can they push on? Can he put them in front? But it was a wonderful chance, but the goalkeeper comes through.
Yes, Derek, we have to give credit to the keeper, but surely he should have scored there. That's a big, big chance.
Just the challenge that was required.
What are these stores on television that are negative?
That's well
There's
blocked.
too much money in them.
And it took a little nip before it went over the touchline. So a throw in here.
Narrative takes on reality of its
Untidy in possession.
fact. Our scientific tools are they're tremendous.
Wes
powerful at
Burns.
discovering patterns like this. It's not difficult.
Well, he always has to be regarded as a dangerous opponent. So what should we expect to see from him in this game, Stuart?
Well, Derek, when he's on form, when he's focused, he's a brilliant runner with the ball. He can take on players, he can go past people with ease, and he's got a great shot on him as well. I'm really looking forward to watching him play today.
Well, the defenders know they need to get tighter. Can't really allow runs like that.
I understand that, hey, you're calling on. Sorry, we're calling us. You're going to have to deal with this. Meetings to find out what's going
Jens
on.
Jönsson.
The world didn't exactly understand what that even meant back then.
Perfect challenge.
You know, when you look back at it now, the Red Scare is like a negative, a dangerous or negative aspect of our history. Yeah.
Jones. Liverpool were the victors in the last game against Brighton and Hove Albion. How might this one go, Stuart?
Well, what a game it was, and they fully deserved their win. It was a very good attacking display from them. I think they have to be favourites for the 3 points again today. They have far too much quality in their squad.
And the pass was just that little bit off. Nearly found its target.
Right. You asked the question if in the future we're going to have a different conversation.
Leif Davis.
I just want to this one. The answer kind of depends if there is a future.
Che Adams.
I worry a lot
Adams.
that not only are we headed to greatness,
Could be dangerous. Well, they're going to feel, aren't they, that that was an opportunity squandered.
Well, from that position, it should be 1-0 now. Great chance for them.
the stories were doing, why they played out.
Well, that's not great, is it? There's been a real lack of quality in the game. The passing's been too safe, and there hasn't been enough movement from the front players. The recipe for a poor spectacle.
Record is never going to be perfect. You need to be able to create
1 minute of stoppage time has been added on.
exposed to some kind of analytical standards so that you can correct your course. If you don't,
Chiesa must take the lead here and dive in to thwart him.
how is he saving? Flying.
Trying to deliver it accurately.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I'm glad you did point out the fact that
And there it is, the half-time whistle.
Weird example because people like to kind of dismiss the impact that yes, especially
Well,
Russia.
Federico Chiesa is normally such a prominent player out there, but
They did steal plants from people. There's a lot of shit that happened because of actual communist.
into the second half then. And these two sides are locked together. Just can't really choose between them at the moment.
They're all looking for him, which was true too. But that's part of the problem when you don't know. Like back then, no internet, very little paper trail. It's really hard to find out who's talking to who unless you like get an actual listening device in the room.
Well, this is the home of live football, EA TV, and we have more action coming up. And in with a real chance. And it's in! 1-0. They've breached the defence. Well, Liverpool restart the game. A wake-up call for them, perhaps.
More stories you dig into, more frequently So if you just get one good one, you're hooked.
Broadhead.
For me, it was the Kennedy assassination.
Good run, very much in control of the situation. Oh, good defending to stop a decent-looking attack.
That was like, I literally had a giant shift in how I viewed the world after reading that book. Because before that, I was never a questioner of whatever it was.
You're so shit.
We were being told about anything. Well, but I mean, I have exactly the same reaction to that story, and I've been down that rabbit hole. And I think you're just ultimately left with a question. Something happened in 1963. That's before either of us were born, right? Right. That thing was either an anomaly that robbed the nation of a president, and the nation continued to be a democratic republic in the aftermath of it, or
A sloppy pass.
interference with it.
The referee correctly decided to play advantage. Big chance. In it goes. He's made it a brace for himself. No stopping him, apparently.
Assassination.
So back underway, with the scoreline standing at 2-0.
And how much was that a preparation that turned us to worse? You know, let's get to a certain amount.
Yunson.
A certain amount. There's clearly a
Adams.
certain. Yeah.
Oh, he saved it well.
Which is one of the reasons why they're so terrified of Trump. Yeah. There's a certain amount of stealing.
Ribeiro.
If let's imagine if
Super tackle and they've won possession.
Really can manipulate elections. How much
Do they mean business on this occasion?
30%. You know, because we don't know. And as long as they can have you believing in the polls,
He must finish. Brilliantly blocked. Now breaking at pace. Potential danger.
She's winning. Like, who the fuck are you talking? Right, and you know,
Will he shoot? The fans hope so. It's still alive.
Well, some magic.
Well, this is the home of live football, EA TV, and we have more action coming up from the Premier League for you. It's Ipswich Town taking on Chelsea.
That looks a really entertaining game. Two good teams with two excellent coaches. I can't wait for that one to come round.
Numbers of universes all around us all the time.
Well, keeping the ball as they're doing is helping the cause.
Well, clearly. I mean, something happened. I think
No failure to keep the ball by Liverpool.
Scheme for figuring out how to deal with the fact that actually the universe is non-deterministic.
Chance to cross.
But to your point,
Still trying to make something happen. And the goalkeeping of the highest order.
Well, he's got to be pleased with that save. It's absolutely magnificent.
Well, they're going for the short one.
One of the things that
Cutting in, what can he do from this position? And thwarting his opponent in the nick of time. And there goes the final whistle. Not what Liverpool fans anywhere wanted to see.
And what we know, and I think actually we owe Trump a huge debt of gratitude for proving something that I couldn't have told you if it was true before he won the presidency, which is there still enough democracy left in the system for something to upend the plan? Right? Because he was clearly off narrative. Right. And he did become president, so he did something for us that I don't know anybody else who could have done it. Yeah, it would take a person with that kind of personality that could withstand that kind of abuse. Because he didn't freak out at all when they went after him. He was like, Right. Just brushed it off like it was nothing. And no one's done that. He's also the only guy that's ever gone through 4 years and didn't age like he went through 30 years. That's true. He aged normal. Yeah. He's used to it. He's used to pressure. And Bush, he aged a ton. Obama aged a ton. Everybody aged a ton. Biden was already cooked before he got in, but he's hard. But he aged a ton. I mean, Biden from 2019 to today is a different person. Yeah, and he was already visibly degraded, but wow, was it a precipitous big jump now. Yeah. Trump was fine. Trump physically, and actually, I think he sounds better. I think, he drives me crazy sometimes when he talks, but I think he's getting better at it. I think he's trying to be a little bit more reasonable, and try to appeal to more people because of that, that effort to be more reasonable. Like he's
he's changed his mind about a lot of things. He's talking about legalizing marijuana. He's talking about all these different things that are like where you're going to get a lot of different responses from like the hardcore Republicans are not going to be for that. Any idea of abortion, the hardcore right wing are not interested at all. And any restrictions on abortion at all, you get your hardcore left wing. So mostly it's the people in the middle. Abortion's a good one, right? Because most people are like, no one should be able to tell you what you can do with your body, but also aborting an 8-month-old fetus is kind of fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing, I've been saying this forever, is that almost everybody agrees on the basics on abortion. We're supposed to not be able to even talk about it.
Right.
But most people believe that abortion is negative. That
Hi guys, I think we're ready for questions now.
cells, you have a nervous system. You have the right to terminate that pregnancy. And the farther you move through that pregnancy, the less right you have. And most people are incredibly queasy about it, I think, as they should be in the third trimester. And, that's what we agree on. And so it's really the extremists on both sides that we are up against. But to the question of what Trump is doing with the mission,
Thank you very much for attending.
there are two issues that are getting tangled. One, I think he's politically going to some places that are not traditionally Republican, because I think he's destroyed the Republican Party. I just don't see the same Republican Party I remember at all. I see a different
Frenetic,
thing.
tension-laden action. That's what we expect when Manchester United host Liverpool. Who's going to come out on top in this one? It is a meeting of two northwest rivals and one of the biggest games in English football without any shadow of a doubt. Manchester United against Liverpool coming up here at Old Trafford. I'm Derek Ray. Joining me for commentary is Stuart Robson. And Stuart, we're both thoroughly looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. And this is one of the great rivalries, Derek. And I think it's fair to say there's not a lot of love between these two clubs. Let's hope we get an entertaining game here.
Well, Manchester United have chosen this particular shape.
Well, in this 4-5-1 shape, it will be interesting to see how close the wide midfield players get to their main striker. Will they stay wide or play through the inside right and inside left positions? We'll have to wait to see how it develops.
Let's take a look at the Liverpool starting 11.
Well, on paper, they look a very balanced.
Now, hold on, Stuart, they're in here. And there it is! The opening goal of the derby for Liverpool! A real jolt to the home fans.
Small government, fuck you, figured out, I don't want to pay taxes.
Yes, stingy.
Well, here it is again, and it's all about the pace on the counter-attack. They were so quick to break out from their defensive positions, and then through on goal, he just goes for power and smashes it past the keeper. There's no stopping that. What a great finish.
Funding Ukraine, and we have some sort of whether you're pro-Hamas or pro-Palestine, I should say, or whether you're pro-Israel, there's involvement in that. No one is saying no Democrats are saying we need to get.
So back in action, and it's up to United now to be inventive.
Oh, okay. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that?
Gaia.
How much is involved in that? Are you going to bring in people?
Oh, no doubt about it. Liverpool are hoping to make amends because they lost last time out against Ipswich Town. How do you see this one going, Stuart?
Well, Derek, they're in a promotion spot at the moment, but they need to perform well again today. They've got a great chance of going up here.
Are you serious? Do you know how big that place is? Do you know how much military force is behind who?
Bruno Fernandes. The fans want to see a shot.
Like, what if he just decides to go nuclear at any point in time?
Credit to them for winning back possession.
Advancing further and further into Russia, and he's like, "I'll just end this right now. I'll just turn Kiev into."
Likes to run with the ball at his feet. Big chance.
Score!
Just narrowly wide in the end.
It's insane. And the hardest part to do that. It's because like my parents were saying. Okay. My parents are good people, lifelong Democrats. They live in LA, surrounded by Hollywood types. They cannot
Ugarte.
seem to grasp the fact that the
On to
party
Orban.
they believed in is now doing the inverse of everything they signed up
Manuel
for.
Ugarte.
Exactly. Because the New York
Good
Times
work from Liverpool to make sure possession changed hands.
Like the values are still there.
Swap.
Oh, might be. Just what the Liverpool fans wanted to see as they extend the lead to 2 goals.
See that where I posted on my Instagram? It's a title of a New York Times article. Which one?
Well, he wasn't going to waste this chance. 1v1 against the keeper, and he slots it away with great confidence. That's a good finish.
This is an actual New York Times article. See it? This is so crazy. It's
So
really
underway
hard to
again,
believe this
and a
is
2-0
like this.
advantage
The New
here.
York Times say, yeah, we like it.
Manuel Ugarte. On to Orban.
Not sure what to expect.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah,
Gaia.
of course.
The Constitution is sacred. Is it also dangerous?
Right.
One of the biggest threats to American politics might be the country's founding document. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
One of the biggest threats to America's politics might be one of the greatest documents that any country has ever founded on, if not the greatest ever.
Vili Orban.
That could be a threat to America's politics.
Well, we're
What
shortly going
politics
to
are we
hear the
talking about?
half-time whistle.
What?
It's Liverpool
How
on
could
top.
you
And Stuart, they've
possibly
been impressive.
gaslight me enough
Yes, it's been a really energetic display from them so far.
Yeah,
The passing's been sharp,
it's
the movement from the front
incredible. I mean,
players has been excellent,
on the
and the
one
finishing has been clinical. They will
Oh,
certainly be
opportunity here, Stuart.
Obviously.
Well, going for power and so close to finding the net.
Finds its teeth at night over the Constitution. The fact that it prevents them from doing things they just supposed to do last week, you know? And so, of course, they're like scratching their heads like, can we come up with an argument?
Goal news to bring you from the Aston Villa game, and Alex Scott has the details.
It's a goal for Villa. They're back level. It's 1-1 with 43 minutes played.
If you're a New York
Thank you,
Times
Alex.
reader, I'm sure that fits with the kind of ethos that's been cultivated.
Well, this is why a person like Trump is so
Ugarte.
important. Because if you don't have someone that
And there
is
goes the
keen,
whistle. That closes the book on the first half here at Old Trafford.
It's very difficult to justify all this shit. So if you have
Well, successfully kept in check, Marcus Rashford, much to his chagrin, Stuart.
Yeah, I've been really disappointed with him today, Derek. He just hasn't looked himself. But I think it's fair to say he hasn't had great service, has he?
in the last few years. How could you wouldn't be able to make that argument with there's no imminent threat, right? Let's say Mitt Romney.
The second half underway, and United left with a real mountain to climb.
You can't make that argument that we can't have a First Amendment, because the First Amendment is getting in the way. The First Amendment is allowing people to say things that aren't true, misinformation and disinformation, and we're right here. We're September 2nd.
Well, that was
I think
incisive.
yesterday was the first day where Brazil banned.
Well, just the tackle that was needed.
So X is illegal to have in Brazil as of
Well,
today.
we always
as of
enjoy
yesterday.
bringing you live
Not
action
only
on
is it
EA
illegal,
TV and
but
Premier
you
League action
go to
coming
a
up.
VPN
It's
and
Manchester
charge
United facing
$8,000
Bournemouth.
a day.
I know. It's incredible.
Well, I believe changing circumstances in the Villa game, and Alex Scott has the details.
Yep, another goal for Brentford. It was a poor clearance, and then it was far too easy for him after that. They're now behind by one with 56 minutes played. I'm really enjoying this one,
This is
Derek.
like Hitler.
Alex with the info as ever.
They never talked about Mitt Romney like you said.
I agree. And as I've been saying since the beginning of this electoral cycle,
Well, we're
they
into the
fear
final
Trump
half
far
hour.
more than they fear Trump. Because actually
And
Trump
quick
is
thinking defensively.
for their existence that is functional. Right? They don't have an affirmative argument for why they should
Rashford.
be in power, but being the alternative
Now,
to Trump.
who can he play it to?
is,
Well, that's a super ball over the top.
That's a pitch.
Right.
So we are now somewhere.
This is the
pretty
home of
interesting
live football,
in the sense
EA TV.
that I
And
think
how about this for live action coming up? The Champions League.
Oh, he can score here, Derek.
A goal! That's two for him today. They simply...
larger group of people, they're seeing right through it.
Yeah.
They're understanding. First of all, we lived through 4 years of Trump, right? Right. There were good aspects, there were bad aspects, but it was not distinguished as some moment of total failure of our system or something. Right. There were a lot of elements of it that were very positive.
They can't stop him. No wonder he's celebrating.
That's where.
Well, here it is again, and the pace in which they break forward is devastating. It's so hard to defend against, and then what a strike. That's hit with such ferocity, certainly no stopping that. That's a great goal.
You're going to do these things that you did do in your office now, right?
And to that, you're doing the things that you're accusing him of intending.
So the action underway again. It's all going Liverpool's way. It's starting to get out of hand, you just feel.
And the weaponizing the courts over what was a misdemeanor.
Into the final 20 minutes.
That's already, if you look at the
Lisandro Martinez.
Post they made on Twitter,
And on the ball, Gaia.
legality of this 34 count thing that they
Now Casemiro.
This is essentially an accounting
Orban.
error or deception.
Leroy Sané.
That's a misdemeanor that is past the statute of limitations.
Sané. And United have the corner.
Have to really even squint at it to see that it's just simply unconstitutional.
Let's see about the delivery. Well, the keeper won't be complaining about that corner kick delivery. His ball all the way. I'm just being told there's been a goal at Villa Park, so let's send it over to Alex Scott.
It's another for Aston Villa. It's all level again at 2-2 with 79 minutes played.
Many thanks, Alex. Bruno Fernandes has it.
Because you've set a precedent now. Now let's imagine, like, we've gone through.
Well, as we get close to full time, no two ways about it, Stuart. Liverpool bossing this one.
Well, what can you say about this performance? They've been absolutely brilliant. They've played with such guile and creativity, and their passing has been so expansive. Not many teams would have
they
stopped
could
them
be
today.
in here, Stuart. Oh, that's a fine save.
Right. Just like
and United will switch things around personnel-wise. He's driven in the corner. And a simple clearance, a good one. He's going to have a go here. Oh, he's missed, but by a minuscule margin.
Well, he couldn't have made better contact than that. His technique is brilliant. He's so unlucky there.
Stops and frisks all over the country.
And that is all for this game anyway. It goes into the books as a victory for Liverpool.
Absolutely right, Derek. There are
not raids on people's homes with no warrants, that somehow or another you're a danger to our democracy. Like, it can go.
Is it all right if we just ask you a couple of questions?
Because you set a precedent.
Right, and I think actually we are already living this nightmare in one way. What they did was loaded powers into the executive branch that were never supposed to be there. They created...
No further question. Thanks for...
And they gave those powers to the president, I think believing that they would never be in the hands of anybody that wasn't on their team. Right? And I'm not talking red or blue.
Right.
I'm talking about inside versus outside. And one of the reasons that I think the reaction to Trump is what it was, is that he was taking over an office that had been given all of these exotic tools that he could in principle use against anybody. These are tools that are absolutely a violation of our Constitution, and yet they exist there. And so the need to prevent him from having access to those things was existential in their mind. And so anyway, the point is they created tools they never expected to be in the hands of someone else, and that is the situation, that's the scenario you're describing here as well.
Why do you think the multiverse is bullshit?
I just don't think it makes any sense, because if you take the multiverse literally, so let me back up a second.
Okay.
We have a principle that tells us more or less what is true, called parsimony. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We take the simplest explanation that accounts for what we observe, and we imagine it's true. And there's a little imperfection in there, but if you had all the information, it would work, I think, perfectly. And then there's a flaw in how we apply it. The multiverse is analytically very simple, right? It's just one move. Oh, there are an infinite number of universes. At every moment, there are an infinite number of things that could happen, and a universe is created for each one. That's very simple. I just said it in one sentence. On the other hand, at the practical level, it couldn't possibly be more wasteful and absurd, right? The idea that, there's going to be two universes. You're going to double the universe because I just moved my glasses, and we need one universe in which I didn't and one universe in which I did, and then each of those universes is going to proliferate out from each moment. This does not make any sense. So I think what it